Also $9.95 a month.
I just turned 80. What's my price?
$9.95 a month for you two. If you're age 50 to 85, call.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Alex Forbes. We are coming on the air with a new tornado warning for Dooley and Crisp counties, also Sumter County included in this. If you are in Vienna and Cordele, Lake Blackshear most imminently, I need you to go to your tornado safe place. That is away from doors and windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, lowest level of your structure. We have a storm that is capable of producing a tornado with a huge uptick in lightning right over Lake Blackshear as we speak, and it's moving towards the northeast at about 50 miles an hour. So this is going to be southern Dooley County, so really from Vienna and south, and northern Crisp County, so from the Cordele area up into the Dooley County line right there. And meteorologist Alex Pry is here with me, and we've been watching this storm for the past 5 minutes or so. Alex, look at just that huge uptick in lightning right over Lake Blackshear, and that's typically what we see whenever we get into a situation like this where we have rotation that is capable of producing a tornado, again, moving into northern Crisp County and Dooley County included within this tornado warning that is going to run until 5:30 this morning here in central Georgia. And again, that's going to go all the way over to the Wilcox County line and continue actually almost to Pulaski County as well. So it's going to be right near Lake Blackshear. Let's see if we can get some roads here in Crisp County where I need you in your tornado safe place most imminently. So that's going to be right along Highway 280, Georgia 230. In fact, a lot of the rotation is right near 280 and 230 right now. This looks like a lot of farmland just north of 280, but still, if you know that you are to the northwest of Cordele, right? So if you go out of Cordele and you go to the west, you go towards Lake Blackshear and you're north of Highway 280, that is where this storm is headed next. You're probably hearing a lot of thunder right now, a lot of lightning over Lake Blackshear. Here's US 41 here. If you live along US 41 north of Cordele, that's where you need to be headed to your tornado safe place right now. And also Interstate 75 as you head up into Dooley County, which part of this area includes, and in fact that's going to include the Richwood area right there along 41 and of course Vienna. So if you are in Vienna seeing a pretty good storm right now, still need you to go to your tornado safe place. You're within the polygon here. It's this red line kind of like that. So Vienna included in that. Here's Highway 215, of course Interstate 75, and then 257 coming out of eastern Crisp County into Dooley County also at the moment. So we are going to throw a track on this. It's moving towards the northeast at 50. Is that right, Alex?
Northeast at 55.
Northeast at 55. So let's do that real quick. And, these storms are booking it. So Cordele 454 here in the next few minutes, Pineview 515, Abbeville 525, Eastman 537, Chauncey 542. Obviously we're getting well outside of the tornado warning here, but that goes to show you where we are seeing the rotation in the moment and where it's headed over the next hour or so. This warning only goes for the next 45 minutes. So that's where things stand at the moment. But again, Cordele, if you are in Cordele and northern Crisp County from Lake Blackshear to Interstate 75, I need you in your tornado safe place right now. I want to flip things over to the potential debris and see if we're seeing anything. And there's nothing clear. What we are seeing is some altering of the radar beam, if you will, but nothing that is jumping out at me screaming tornado in the moment, which is some good news. And if I back this up real quick, we haven't seen that yet, but we have seen a tightening in this rotation here that is moving over Lake Blackshear as we speak and into northern Crisp County. So that's the situation right now. So again, we're saying put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. I've got some steps for you here. So this is, again, going to be Crisp and Dooley counties. Inside, lowest floor of a sturdy structure away from doors and windows, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And that is going to be, again, Crisp, Dooley, and then also Sumter County included in this, even though that's technically just outside of our area here over the next few minutes. So again, Dooley County, that's going to be south of Unadilla, really Vienna and south, but it's going to be mainly in Crisp County right now where we are watching this tornado warning that's going to continue for the next 40 minutes now. And Alex, this is our second one of the day. We saw a tornado warning earlier in parts of Houston County. We believe we may have had a touchdown because the correlation coefficient, that lofted debris tracker we were looking at, dropped out. But it looks like Dooley and Crisp counties are kind of in line at the moment.
Yes, exactly. And just one thing kind of worth noting, this is moving into a relatively untouched area of central Georgia so far in terms of available energy, available moisture. Areas further down to the south and southeast of central Georgia really are the areas that we haven't had interaction along this main line. We might have had a few pop-up showers just due to the sheer amount of moisture that we've had here in central Georgia. But as you can see, moving in a generally northeasterly direction and booking it, like Alex said, 55 miles an hour, and that moving into southern Dooley County. So let's see if I can kind of give you a more local view right now. So I would say, according to our relative velocity right here, so you can definitely see the circulation right there indicated by the blue colors that you are seeing, the blue pixels up against the green pixels. So moving over towards kind of the east of Lake Blackshear, between Lake Blackshear and Cordele, if you will. So those areas, Highway 280, definitely be in your tornado safe space if you are not already. And as Alex said, interior-most room that you do have in your house, away from windows, guarded by as many walls that you do have. And that taking that general northeasterly direction, so going to cross 41, I-75 here relatively shortly, and get into southern Dooley County as well. So Richwood, Vienna, and then other highways past on the eastern side of I-75. We're talking highway, I believe that is 215, Highway 357 in southern Dooley County. That intersection of those two, you are directly in the path and the polygon of this tornado warning that is moving through. And as you can see, I mean, a lot of rotation right there indicated by the notch there on a relative velocity, and the uptick in lightning also very indicative of how strong this storm has become. But moving generally northeast, so hopefully it will interact with kind of an area that has already used up a lot of that potential energy to continue the strong formation of a storm. But the good news is we haven't seen any reports of a confirmed tornado on the ground as of yet. You would see that right to the right of the tornado warning that is on the top of your screen right there. But once again, this tornado warning still extending for another about 38 minutes until 5:30 in the morning right now. This goes for Crisp and southern Dooley counties right now. And if this is to hold together, then we could be looking at areas such as Pulaski County, northern Wilcox County, Pineview, getting close to Hawkinsville, those areas being extended in this tornado warning as of right now. I'll take it back to you, Alex.
Yeah, that's right. So this warning goes until 5:30, but I'm just looking at the speed of it, engaging it in my head. This is going to be way outside of the warning box by 5:30. So, for the next little while, again, if you are in Cordele, northern Crisp County, and southern Dooley County, we need you in your tornado safe place. I want to give you some roads here in Dooley County. Obviously we have 75 and 41 right here, but if you are along 257 headed into Dooley County, also right along, what is that, 215 headed from Vienna over to the east, that is where this potential tornado is headed. Let me zoom down in here, and so there's the rotation there. Let's see if we can get some more roads. Parham Road over towards Spears, Christmas Road, Payne Road. Again, this is not where the tornado is right now, but where it has the potential of going. Lambtown Road over towards Lullaby Lane, Georgia Pine Drive, Dooley High Road. Okay, so potentially over towards Dooley High School. Tippetville Road, Howard Farm Road, Noble Gen Road, Broadway Road, Tippetville Road. I think I said that. Coppage Road and Cason Road. Worth noting, National Weather Service saying that the rotation in Crisp doesn't seem to be holding together very well, but they're going to let this tornado warning continue. It's this spot right here where you see these blues and the greens right next to one another is where, if we're seeing anything, right where that would be. So we were talking about the being over Lake Blackshear. It has now moved past Lake Blackshear and is between the lake and Cordele. And it is continuing to move towards the northeast very quickly towards Dooley County here over the next few minutes. So let's draw a track on this. What I'm going to do is draw it not as far out in time, though. Let's do 30 minutes because I don't think it's going to hold together that long. And northeast at 55. So Cordele about 4:59, Richwood 5:02, Tippetville 5:14. Here's Pineview at 5:20. Of course, that's on the Pulaski Wilcox County line there. So outside of the tornado warning, really expecting this to move out of the tornado warning box by 5:10, 5:15, even though this warning goes until 5:30. So going to continue to watch this here for the next little bit. Let's flip back over to the lofted debris and see if there's anything. I was curious about this earlier. I don't think, I know we're seeing a color differential right here, but I don't think this is lofted debris, because what we're seeing is that continuing past Lake Blackshear. And that's not what that looks like. If we were seeing debris in the air, we would be seeing it literally looks like a circle of whites and blues on this map. And we are seeing some discoloration, but we're not seeing that circle, which is something good to know. Also worth noting that the tornado watch does continue. I want to show you the counties included in that. This is going to be Macon, Peach, Houston, Twiggs, Wilkinson. Even though some of these counties back here have been are in the clear, we are still continuing it down to the south. I say they're in the clear because the storms have moved through. The watch has not been canceled yet, but we're talking about Dooley, Pulaski, Wilcox, Dodge, Telfair, Wheeler, Trutland, Lawrence County, Johnson counties. This continuing until 8 o'clock unless it's canceled earlier by the National Weather Service. So at least, some good news, at least for the time being in Crisp County, is that it doesn't look as strong, but the warning's still there nonetheless, and that warning extends into Dooley County, and we'll see if it extends beyond that. But as this was getting its act together, we noticed a big uptick in the lightning, which is what we saw near Lake Blackshear. And you can still see that lightning within the past 10 minutes. That's what we show you here. And the part of the storm that we're tracking between Lake Blackshear and Cordele moving towards Interstate 75 as we speak. So if you're in Dooley County, Vienna and south, need to head to your tornado safe place. If you're in Crisp County, you're just waking up, you're hearing the tornado sirens. If you are in Cordele and around Cordele and then to the north, that's where we need you to head to your tornado safe place. And we'll see if we get a continuation of this here. Not quite sure if we will, because, again, just a couple things jumping out at me. That huge uptick in lightning, not continuing at the moment. The velocity doesn't look as good, right, in the sense of a tornado. Like, we don't want a tornado, but whenever we're talking about this in the sense of being good, is being favorable for a tornado to develop. But if we're seeing anything, I think it's going to be right there between Lake Blackshear and Cordele. That's going to continue here for this tornado warning that's going to run until 5:30.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're exactly spot on with that. We are seeing a lot of disorganization with this. And notice you're seeing the deferring colors right here around Cordele. Obviously, we think over to the west is really where, if there is a tornado, that is where the center is located and the center of rotation. But you can see all that blue paired up against that green on those pixels right there. That's very broad, okay? That's way, way too big to be a tornado right there. So we're not really seeing anything indicative of notches, rotation per se anymore. And that was really the most impressive thing that we have been seeing with this warning so far. And the National Weather Service does seem to be hinting at the rotation is not really holding together per se. But as you can see, still frequent lightning, heavy rain associated with this. And we are still going to treat this like there is a tornado on the ground, because this is a tornado warned storm and it is trekking over pretty populated areas in terms of Cordele, I-75. I know that it's about to be 5 a.m. right now, so a lot of people might be getting up to make their morning commute to work. You definitely do not want to be on I-75 in southern Dooley or in northern Crisp County, as this tornado warned storm is looking to move over it here in the coming hours or so. But once again, this warning extending for another 32 minutes until 5:30 in the morning right now, and we will let you know if anything changes with that according to the National Weather Service. Alex?
Yeah, that's a good point. Obviously, working our way towards 5 a.m., a lot of people about to be heading to work. If you are thinking about heading out in Dooley or Pulaski counties, even Wilcox County here in the next little bit, I'd pump the brakes for at least just the moment and let these storms come through and then maybe head out. We do still have this tornado watch continuing until 8 a.m. Again, I do expect some counties to be trimmed out of this here in the next little bit, but really I want to focus on Johnson, Lawrence, Bleckley, Pulaski, Dooley, Crisp, Dooley and Crisp, where we have the warning right now, but the watch continues too. Down towards Wilcox, Telfair, Wheeler, Montgomery counties also included in this for the next little while. So we are coming up on 5 o'clock. Here is where the line of storm stands now, moving into the Dublin area as we speak. There's Cochrane over towards Pulaski County, Dooley and Crisp counties. And just noticing, another uptick in lightning in that little area. So we're going to see what we do with that here in the next little bit. But that tornado warning for Dooley and Crisp continuing here for the next 30 minutes. So we've been tracking storms all morning. We're coming up on 5 o'clock here in the next 20 seconds or so. And what we're going to do is kind of reset. We're going to join Caitlin and Frederick and start 13W WMAZ morning. And then we're going to come right back to storm coverage while this tornado warning is still active, which is planned for the next 30 minutes, but we'll see whether or not we make it to that point. So again, watching Dooley and Crisp counties, Wilcox and Pulaski over the next little bit. 13 WMAZ morning starts now.
Good morning. For those of you who are just joining us, we are in severe weather coverage right now. We have Alex Pry and Alex Forbes doing team coverage as we continue to track these storms coming through central Georgia.
It has been quite a long morning, to say the least. They have been on the air since about 3:30 this morning, tracking the latest watches and warnings. Guys, what's the latest?
Yeah, Caitlin and Frederick, we are continuing to watch the tornado warning that's down into Dooley and Crisp counties this morning. I do want to go ahead and give you an all clear, though. If you are in Macon and Warner Robins, even Perry right now, we have seen the storms come through, and that's it. No more storms today. You're going to be looking at a big cool down and windy conditions, but this tornado warning continues technically for the next 30 minutes. The rotation looked better on it when it was back over near Lake Blackshear, but where it is now is crossing Interstate 75 in Crisp County, somewhere near Cordele, and then moving potentially into, we'll say, southeastern Dooley County now. So if you are, say, there's Vienna over towards Lake Blackshear, if you are north of there, I think you're okay for the time being. But the tornado warning continues for Vienna and southward, and we're going to see. I honestly don't know if they're going to extend this warning. Let's check out the velocity on this now. This is where the winds would be. So looking at right over the Cordele area, if we're seeing anything, it would be that right there. Just off the top of my head, looking at it, if this were a standalone thing and had not already had a tornado warning on it, I don't think they would have issued a warning given this frame. But since we have one active and that rotation did tighten up previously, I'm curious to see whether or not that's going to be extended. And if they do it, it would probably be in the next 10 minutes here as it approaches the Wilcox County line between Pineview and Rochelle. So as of now, Wilcox County not included in a tornado warning. Not quite sure if you're going to be. Hoping you're not. Same with Pulaski County. But as things stand now, we're focused on the Crisp and Dooley County areas as we speak. So tornado warning, of course, northern Crisp County. What that means is lowest level, most interior room away from doors and windows, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And I see Alex has drawn a track on this. So let's send things over to him and see where the storm is headed. Of course, the warning's going to stop before the track ends, and in fact, they just updated it there. So it looks like they're continuing. Let's get a check of this track, though.
Yeah, so exactly. They just decided to extend this tornado warning that we do have, and we're talking areas right here that you see on this timeline. Once again, areas to the very end of this polygon that I did draw. More than likely not going to see this, as we are indicating weakness within this rotation now. So 513 Tippetville, 519 Pineview, 529 up in the Hawkinsville, Pulaski County, Bailey's Park at 536, Eastman over in Dodge County at 541, 550 Chester, Cadwell at 553, and Rents at 558. And once again, I don't think a lot of those later times that you kind of see past about probably the Hawkinsville timeline right there. So more so immediate danger is going to be the southeastern corner of Dooley County into the northwestern portion of Wilcox, maybe creeping into Pulaski County, but right now centered in northern Crisp County. Alex, we'll send it back to you real quick.
Yeah, that's right. And I do also want to note, there's this red box here. That's the tornado watch. Okay. Let me turn that off real quick because that could be confusing. Okay, so this tornado warning, this red outline here, I've turned on the potential lofted debris, and we've seen this continue here for the past little bit. You see the color drop out near Cordele, which is where the rotation is, but notice how that continues past Cordele, right? The radar is up at Jeffersonville. You see it spinning around, and it sends a beam right about there, right? And the discoloration continues past that, which is why I don't think we are looking at debris in the air, which is good news. We don't want debris in the air, but the tornado warning continues nonetheless. This is going to be between Vienna and the county line, and then also the Cordele area, so a little south of Cordele up to the Dooley County line as well. If you are watching us from Lake Blackshear, that's where this picked up really about 15 minutes ago, and we can give the all clear now to Lake Blackshear from a tornado threat. You've been removed from the tornado warning. But it does continue for Cordele and southern Dooley County. And again, we were talking about it earlier, and now after 5 o'clock, some people beginning to head to work. If you are doing that in Pulaski County, Wilcox County, hold off for just 10, 15 minutes. Let's see what happens with this. And then we'll give you the all clear. So, Rochelle, Pineview, Abbeville, over even as far north as the Hawkinsville area. I'd say just hang on for a little bit if you can. And let's see what happens with this as it continues to move towards the northeast at very quickly at 50, 55 miles an hour. The speed on this was 55, northeast at 55. So, it's not going to take long for it to move through your area, and we're going to see what happens here with this in the next little bit. Let's flip back over to the velocity map here. Again, this is going to be the winds. If we're seeing anything now, I think it's going to be just past the Cordele area, meaning downtown Cordele, right? If you're over in eastern Crisp County, you could still have a Cordele mailing address. You could be in Cordele, but, the downtown area is at least past the tornado threat. It's going to be that right in there, which again does not look great. That's me looking for something if there's anything there. If you're in Vienna, I think you're okay now. Let me flip this back over to the radar and just confirm that. Yeah, so if you're in your tornado safe place in Vienna, we'll say east or west of Interstate 75, west to 75 in Dooley County, you're all clear. Really, if the rain's beginning to let up, I think you're kind of using that as all clear. But just kind of highlighting what we saw happen was this huge uptick in lightning over Lake Blackshear as the rotation was getting going. You can still see that there within the past 15 minutes, and we're not seeing that type of lightning now where this rotation would be, which is in this general area, but still looking at some strikes back up into Dooley County and northern Wilcox County over towards the Pineview area. So if you're in Pineview, you're in Rochelle, might be getting to hear thunder, definitely seeing some lightning off in the distance. That was one thing I certainly noticed about earlier this morning. We were looking live from the Georgia National Fairgrounds over towards Taylor County and Macon counties earlier, and we were able to see lightning from quite a distance away, and I think that's continuing this morning here in Wilcox County, and then probably over into Dodge County as well. If you're in Eastman and you're looking over towards Pineview, probably seeing some lightning in the distance, might even be hearing some rumbles of thunder off in the distance as well. That's the situation, at least for the time being. Let me back this up a little bit and show you why the warning was issued. It's just to show you how it looks now versus what it did look like when they pulled the trigger on this. Okay. And it looks like they're going to replace this with a severe thunderstorm warning, which is some good news. So this severe thunderstorm warning, we technically still have the tornado warning, but they are extending this via severe thunderstorm warning for the time being, and that is going to be for Bleckley, Crisp, Dodge, Dooley, Pulaski, and Wilcox counties until 5:45 for severe thunderstorm moving northeast at 55 miles an hour, 60 mile an hour winds. And what they're going to do, it looks like, is the storm is moving into this severe thunderstorm warning box, and on this warning they've kept the tornado possible tag on it. So it's a step below a tornado warning, but the storm's still rotating. But for now, they're going to let this ride with a severe thunderstorm warning into Dodge County. So this is going to include Hawkinsville, Cochran, Eastman. Already raining heavily in Hawkinsville. The heaviest of the storm is going to come past you in Pulaski County down to the south, but it does look like, generally speaking, towards the Eastman area here over the next little bit, we're going to be looking at a storm that's capable of producing a tornado moving into that area. Alex?
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I really want to note with all this that we do have going on over here to our southwest edge of this line of main rain that is moving through, all these areas that you're seeing, Dodge County, southern end of Lawrence County, Wheeler County, Telfair County, all these areas are relatively untouched when it comes to all their potential energy and moisture that is available for this main line of rain to move on through. So as you kind of just saw, we did see an uptick in lightning. We have seen a bunch of lightning already earlier in this morning, and really kind of just covering all of the rain that we now kind of see on the radar that I'm showing you right here. But when this line of rain, as you can see, it's kind of dissipating, kind of disorganizing right now, but as quick as they disorganize, they can pop back up just as quick. So I really want to note that. We are wanting to keep you updated as we continue to go through the early morning hours tonight, or this morning. As you can see, 5 a.m. right now, and our really severe weather threat not necessarily ending until closer to about 7 a.m. for our far southeastern counties. But the good news is the northwestern half of central Georgia is in the all clear right now, and we're continuing to monitor the current tornado warning right now. Alex?
And another piece of good news, there is no more current tornado warning. This is going to be just now the severe thunderstorm warning. They've canceled that warning, and we're going to watch this now as it moves towards the northeast. But again, I want to emphasize, this severe thunderstorm warning has that tornado possible tag on it. So this is not an all clear from a tornado threat. Obviously, the watch continues as well. And the reason why it has this tag on it is because the storm, if I flip this over to the velocity velocity here is still rotating. We still have like a little bit of a notch right there. We still have strong winds on this side, not so much on that side. And we're going to watch this here over the next little while as it moves now into Wilcox County and eventually far southeastern Pulaski County on into Dodge and eventually the Eastman area here over the next, this warning goes until 5:45, but at least for the next little bit, just kind of want to see what it does. I never saw the correlation coefficient drop out over Lake Blackshear, which means I don't think we had a touchdown. But it could have happened and the radar didn't pick it up. So that is certainly a possibility and something that we're going to be watching for here in the next little bit. So this is where things stand now. 5:45 is when this warning expires. It is now 5:10 in the morning. We still have this tornado watch in place for central Georgia. Dooley, Crisp, Pulaski, Wilcox, Dodge, Telfair, Wheeler, Troutman, Lawrence, Johnson. Those are the counties I would really focus on for the next little while here as this line continues to move through central Georgia, and then it will begin to get out of here for later on. But because we do not have a active tornado warning, what we are going to do is here in the next few minutes, and you guys tell me when you're ready, we are going to kind of fall back into 13 WMAZ morning in terms of how that show goes. And then if we get another tornado warning, we will jump back in and we will stay continuous until that happens. But for now, we have this severe thunderstorm warning, and you guys just let me know when you're ready to go. And we can do that. Let's see here. Okay, so as things stand now, Bleckley, Dodge, Pulaski, Wilcox till 5:45. A lot of lightning in and around the Pineview area. Pulaski County over towards Dodge is where this is headed next. And again, that broad rotation is kind of in northern Wilcox County. All right, we're going to send things over to Caitlin and Frederick now. I think we are going to go to the talk about what's going on with the power outages.
All right, thank you, Alex. Thank you guys for all your hard work this morning.